So Umidigi sent out their latest smartwatch offering, the 3S. Could this be the best budget smartwatch ever to be released? Absolutely not, but we're going to take a look anyway. Stay tuned. Guys, welcome back to Take It Easy. So Umidigi, at least that's how I think you say it, sent me out their latest smartwatch, the 3S. But they also sent out their 2S smartwatch, the previous model, for me to do a comparison and point out the differences. And well, this is a bit awkward. So yeah, the boxes are exactly the same, the watches look exactly the same. Anyway, let's start things off on a positive. These smartwatches are only going for around £30 in the UK, and at the moment the 2S I believe is currently on sale for just £25, which to be honest, if the device does do its job and tracks everything it's meant to accurately, makes it a pretty good value buy. At this price point, you're usually limited to fitness trackers, which come as a much smaller package. That being said, I'm not too sure I would class these smartwatch devices as smartwatches at all. Sure, they look like a smartwatch, but the display isn't exactly like, say, a Galaxy Watch display. It's actually a smaller, squarer display inside a round case, if you like, which in my opinion, looks god-awful. But hey, these are budget fitness trackers, right? Smartwatches. Anyway, let's whip one out the box and have a good old fumble around. God, did I actually write that? Surprisingly, the build quality is pretty nice on both the 2S and the 3S. Yeah, it's very light, but the materials actually feel quite premium. We have that nice gunmetal finish with a rubber strap, and again the buckle is also in the gunmetal finish, with the logo nicely engraved on it. Now they do look completely identical, and for the most part they are, but physically I am noticing a difference on the back. There is obviously some sort of extra sensor upgrade, which I'm sure we'll find out more about later on. Also worth noting, there's no physical button on either of these watches. You have that touch style button you see on a lot of fitness trackers such as the Galaxy Fit 2 and the Xiaomi Mi Band 5. What a coincidence. Not my favourite thing if I'm honest, especially not on a device like this which is meant to be a smartwatch. I think maybe adding a crown might have been a good move here. It would help with the aesthetics and improve the functionality and user experience. Since there is no physical button, you do have to plug it into a charger to get it turned on. Thankfully, it is a magnetic charger, which does make things slightly easier. So let's get this turned on and have a good old look. Oh dear, I'm sorry, but that screen just looks absolutely terrible. And to add insult to injury, the UI is also horrific. It's like they base the UI off a PowerPoint presentation or something. The super slow animations do absolutely nothing for it, and this is the same story across both the 2S model and the more recent 3S model. Now, it would be fair to say that you can't expect too much from a smartwatch at this price point, but again, I've seen fitness trackers at a very similar price point with much smoother, better looking displays and UIs. And I'm thinking on a Band 6 here. Now from turning it on, it's looking like that difference I was talking about earlier between the 2S and the 3S is the appearance of Spo2 monitoring, which I will admit is a great feature to have on such a cheap device. I'll give it that. But other than that, I can't really see any major differences. Design is the same, display is the same, and unfortunately, the UI is the same. I'm not sure they needed to bring out a whole new model just for Spo2 monitoring. They could have just brought out an updated version of the 2S and made some really significant changes for the later 3S model. Because really, I do think there's room for improvement here. Honestly, I do think this fitness tracker slash smartwatch does need a lot of work. That being said, there are elements that do jump out at me as great value for money features to have on a cheaper device. But if you were to ask me, I'd probably recommend something like I said earlier, the Honor Band 6, which may be a little bit pricier, but only by £10 or so, and you get a lot of fitness tracker for your money there. The only big trade-off is aesthetics. It will look more like a fitness tracker rather than a smartwatch, but at least it's not pretending to be something it's not. Anyway, let's take a look at what they can actually do. So yes, both the 3S and the 2S can track your steps, heart rate, and even track your sleep. Again, pretty nice features to have on such a cheap device. Then, as we talked about earlier, we have the Spo2 monitoring on the newer 3S model. After walking around in circles a few times, I found the steps tracking accuracy to be absolutely fine, and I think now we'll jump into a heart rate and Spo2 monitoring accuracy test and see how it does there. Okay, so we're just going to test the heart rate accuracy and the Spo2 accuracy of the 3S model only, which is the latest model. So to do this, I'm going to use the O2 ring that the guys at WellU sent me a couple of months back. Now this is some medical grade equipment which tracks your heart rate and SpO2, and there'll be a live update on my phone, so I'll keep switching between the two. So actually, surprisingly, the heart rate accuracy was pretty much dead on from the get-go on this, and to be honest, it actually performed better straight away than some of the more expensive flagship watches. So yeah, really impressed with the heart rate accuracy. I obviously did it a few times. I didn't realize that it had continuous heart rate tracking, which is brilliant for a device at this price point. I know I keep saying this, but budget does matter. So now for the SpO2 monitoring. Now this again, for me, I was quite happy with this. It was 1% out, but I suppose that's a good margin for error. I wouldn't really expect much more at this price point. And again, there's lots of factors that come into play here, but generally I'm actually really pleased with the accuracy of this device. It's probably the best thing about it. Okay, so now the accuracy test is out the way, let's take a look at some of its other features. So you have the ability to check the weather on here, which I guess is a nice feature to have, and it brings it a little bit closer to a genuine smartwatch experience. You also have a shutter button for controlling your phone's camera. This is something that we've seen on a lot of recent smartwatches and fitness trackers, budget or flagship, and I'd almost say it's something I'd actually expect from smartwatches and fitness trackers in 2021. There's also a music player, again for controlling your music on your phone, another nice feature to have. Lastly, you have a few other bits such as a compass, stopwatch, and the Find My Phone app, which does come in pretty handy. And yet another feature I do expect on smartwatches and fitness trackers coming out this year or later. Now, we also have the message app, which for me personally hasn't worked. I mean, I'm assuming this is there to receive call and text notifications, but I haven't received any. I have tried calling myself from my partner's phone and it just didn't pick it up. So reading through the manual, it says it's there to give you notifications, but I don't know if this is health notifications or notifications from your phone. Either way, if I'm honest, if it's not for receiving calls and messages, I think it's a little bit misleading. This could be an issue with just my models, but I've got two models here, the 3S and the 2S, and it doesn't seem to work on either of them, which is a shame. So let's talk about some of the specs on this watch, which to be honest, aren't half bad for such a cheap device again. So battery life, we're going to get 7 to 15 days. Now that's going to depend on usage, but really you're going to be getting a minimum of a week here. And I have had these watches for just over a week before I put this review out. I fully charged them once I got them and they've still got battery now, so that is a good sign. That being said, I haven't used them every day, but I have no doubt it will reach the minimum of the 7 days they've stated. Also, another nice thing to have on these watches is 5 ATM waterproofing, meaning you can take it swimming with you if you absolutely need to. To complement the battery life, you also have a rather short charging time of just 2.5 hours, which again, pretty nice to have. We've got Bluetooth 5.0 and of course an accelerometer for tracking your steps. There is no GPS on either the 3S or the 2S model, nor would I expect there to be on such a cheap budget device. It can, however, track your distance walked using the accelerator sensor. So yeah, really on paper, these things are not too bad at all. And for some crude tracking, then yeah, why not? Okay, so that was the Umidigi 2S and the 3S. Now, am I gonna completely shoot these things to the ground? No, I don't think they're absolutely 100% terrible. I think there's still got some use, and I think there's still a few people who might want to buy one. So who are they for? Well, albeit for a very specific set of people, these are for people who are really strapped for cash, and they just want something to track their steps, sleep, and other bits. If you absolutely don't want to spend more than £25–30 on a fitness tracker, and you want something that looks like a smartwatch, then yeah, I'd give them a go. All in all, they do, I guess, what they say on the box. You can track your calories, sleep, heart rate, and more. And if you get the 3S, you can also track your SpO2. It also does things like tracking your distance walked, and it's got a fairly decent battery life, I suppose. If you are wanting something a little bit more fluid, I would look into other fitness trackers such as the Galaxy Fit 2 and the Honor Band 6 though. I really hope that these models can be improved, because if you can get a budget offering of a smartwatch that works well and looks good, then I think you're in the money. But for me, these just aren't quite there yet. As always, let me know in the comment section what you guys think of the Umidigi 3S and 2S. Do you think I've been a little bit harsh, or do you agree with me? Also, if you did find the video helpful and you did enjoy it, please do leave a like and a comment. Also, if you are new here, please do subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.